How you doing, fam bam? This is Chris Eizo here with another video about the XG43UQ, and I want to show you exactly how you can hook up your console properly to this very monitor. It is possible to hook it up incorrectly to where you won't get the full capabilities out of your consoles. If you haven't seen the review and you're even thinking about getting this monitor, make sure you check the card right above my head, because I talk about the XG43UQ way more in depth in that very video card. This is just a video on exactly how you can hook up your ASUS monitor correctly to where you can get the full HDR10 capabilities. It is a HDR1000 monitor. It has plenty of brightness, up to 1000 nits of power. It is also a VA monitor, and it is still very much a beast here. It's something that is very impressive. If you want to take advantage of your consoles and you want to see that HDR action, you got to make sure to check out this monitor because it is amazing. It is 4K and 144 Hertz. So I know not all of you are just to hear the specs of it. So let me get straight to the point here, because I'm going to show you how to physically hook up your XG43UQ before you continue on to the settings. Specifically, I will be doing this on the PlayStation 5 console, so you can get an idea of how to hook up your console to this very monitor. If you have a PlayStation 4 or if you have an Xbox One, it will not have those capabilities. Instead, you will max out at that HDMI 2.0 capability that they do have. So without further ado, let me show you how to physically hook up this very PlayStation 5 to this XG43UQ monitor. As you see here, this is the ASUS power brick, and you simply just need this to hook up to your ASUS XG43UQ monitor, and this wire just goes right here. It just simply goes to that surge protector right there, and this wire simply travels up to ASUS's monitor right here. I know that step seems pretty simple as it is to hook up the power supply, but I'll show you a little bit more of the complicated side of this setup here. Now, HDMI 2.1 is not on the side panel and it is not exposed. And I'll show you exactly what I mean. So we're gonna flip this panel around and I'll show you exactly how to hook it up. So as you see here in the back of the display, you'll see the speaker right there, and right below the speaker is a panel. So all you have to do is just simply pop off this back piece right here, and that'll get you to HDMI 2.1. And that's the port you want to connect to, because the very side panels, right here, are not where you want to connect your HDMI ports. And that's because it does not go up to HDMI 2.1 here. Instead, you want to go inside of this thing right here. And right under here is how you get to HDMI 2.1 here. Let me show you. As you see right here, that's how you get to HDMI 2.1. Either port is okay because they are both HDMI 2.1. Then of course you got your display port or sync and your DC in, which is for your power. So you want to make sure you hook these up correctly. Now your connections will look something like this. You have the HDMI 2.1 port hooked up. That's from the PlayStation 5 right there. And now you should also have your DC power hooked up right here. The way this is designed is so you can put the cover on without the mess. Simply just like this. And just like that, you're ready to go. So if you like what you're seeing so far, make sure you don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And also don't forget to go down and hit the subscribe button for more, to join the big, wonderful fan band where we love to talk about PC gaming and tech. Now that we have it hooked up together, and now you know that you have your console hooked up correctly, we're gonna simply start up the console. Now, more than likely, when you first turn on your console, it will probably ask you to adjust your screen, which is perfectly normal. So for PlayStation 5 owners, this is what you're gonna have to do. For Xbox Series X owners, this is pretty much a basic idea of what you have to do to your system as well. As you start up your PlayStation 5 or your Xbox Series X, it should start right up. It should start the monitor. So we're gonna go here. It looks like I'm just getting a prompt for my controller to update, so I'm just gonna update it later. And we'll go into the settings here. So now we have our console on here. We're gonna go to the ASUS monitor settings here. All you have to do is hit OK twice on your remote. And when you go down to gaming, you wanna make sure you go down to overclocking is on, and you want your max refresh rate to be at 144 Hertz. Doesn't matter because a lot of these consoles need to get up to 120 Hertz. You just wanna overclock it just in case, go ahead. So the next thing I would also recommend to do is make sure to have your AMD FreeSync on, as it will restart your monitor here. Just give it a moment. Okay, so now AMD FreeSync is on. That helps prevent any tearing. I'm not too sure if any of these consoles do support AMD FreeSync, but I would assume that they do because both consoles, both PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, both use AMD. So the other thing I would also suggest is go down to your images here. You want your HDR max brightness to 1000 nits, which is the brightest. You want your HDR set to console mode. That's also important. So after that, you can choose to have dynamic dimming on or off, and that simply just blends to the room's lighting. So those are the only settings that you have to adjust on that monitor. Now let's go to the console settings. So when you go to the console settings, you want to make sure you go right there to that cog. When you go to that cog right there for settings, you want to go down to screen and video. When you go to screen and video, you want to go to video output, resolution automatic, as you can put it to 2160p, which is 4K. If you do, it may not upscale any games that are originally HD, so I like to set it automatic. Video transfer rate is 4K at automatic, and HDR is always on. Also, another thing you should also do is adjust your HDR. So you can hit this and it will close out any of the games that you do have open. But you simply adjust your PS5's HDR setting, and you want to set that light, that very, very light symbol. You want it to adjust to the point where it's barely visible. So we're gonna do that, as that's the perfect setting right there for it. As you can go down for darker, up for brighter, and that's about right there. So let's go next. And same idea here. You want to adjust it till the symbol is barely visible. That's it right there. Next, same idea. You just want to blend it till you barely can see it. That's perfect. So now we have HDR completely adjusted. You want to make sure you have deep color output automatic. You also want RGB range full, and you want enable 120 Hertz output automatic. So now we can go into a game like Spider-Man where it's HDR supported and see what kind of results we get out of it. So let's go to Spider-Man here. All right, so let's continue here and see what the outcome of the game looks like. Now, as you can see how beautiful that looks, how it just sticks out, how the HDR pops out. So FanBam, I hope you found this content very useful. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And also, if you're interested in a monitor like this, make sure you go down in the description box down below, as I have the monitor for the best deal you can find. Also, make sure you go down to hit the subscribe button for more if you want to join the big wonderful FanBam. And also make sure you follow my Twitter handle right here, as it is the same as my IG and TikTok as well. FanBam guys, what do you think of ASUS's XG43UQ? Does it excite you? Does it make you want to get one? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Chris Mizo signing out.